Kamala Harris. A vice presidency marked by challenges and criticism. Controversial vice presidency. Kamala Harris' ascent to the vice presidency was historic, but her tenure has been marked by significant criticism. Issues related to her inconsistent political record, communication style, and perceived ineffectiveness have led to a trust deficit. Despite her status as a trailblazer, her leadership has often come under fire. Political record, inconsistent and controversial stances. Harris' record, particularly during her tenure as California Attorney General, has been a significant point of criticism. While in office, she supported harsh penalties for minor cannabis offenses but later advocated for the legalization of cannabis as a senator. According to Al Jazeera, Harris' shifting positions raise concerns about political opportunism rather than genuine conviction. Similarly, The Guardian emphasized that Harris' tough-on-crime stance alienated many progressives within her own party. These inconsistencies were highlighted during her unsuccessful 2020 presidential bid, where she struggled to maintain a coherent message, contributing to her early exit. Ineffective leadership in key policy areas. As vice president, Harris has been criticized for her handling of key issues, particularly immigration and voting rights. According to Politico, her performance in these areas has been widely viewed as ineffective. Harris' delayed visit to the U.S.-Mexico border, coupled with a lack of concrete results in immigration reform, drew sharp criticism from both sides of the political aisle. Similarly, her involvement in voting rights efforts, which eventually faltered, raised questions about her ability to achieve legislative success. Her sidelining in key policy debates has only added to the perception that she is ineffective as a leader. Communication and public image. Harris' public communication style has been a major detriment to her image. According to Politico, she often appears overly rehearsed and insincere, which has made it difficult for her to connect with voters. Public appearances where she seemed unprepared or gave rambling responses have only fueled the perception of inauthenticity. This communication struggle has persisted since her 2020 campaign, further eroding trust in her leadership. Staff turnover and internal management issues. Reports of dysfunction within Harris' office have added to the criticism of her leadership. According to the New York Times, high staff turnover and accusations of poor management have contributed to a negative perception of Harris' ability to lead a cohesive team. This internal disorganization has amplified concerns about her leadership style, both within the administration and among voters. Association with Biden and declining approval ratings. Harris' close association with the Biden administration has further impacted her approval ratings, particularly as President Biden faces mounting criticism over inflation, foreign policy, and other issues. According to Forbes, Harris' approval ratings, particularly among key voter groups such as Black and Hispanic voters, have dropped significantly. This decline in popularity is concerning, as these groups were expected to be key supporters of her political future. Fox News Bret Baier interview, Immigration, Crime, and the Economy. A recent interview with Fox News anchor Bret Baier further highlighted the negative aspects of Harris' leadership. During the interview, Baier pressed Harris on immigration, asking about the estimated 6 million migrants who have been released into the U.S. under the Biden administration. According to Fox News, Harris avoided providing a specific number, instead focusing on the administration's broader immigration reform goals. When Baier cited instances of violent crimes committed by migrants released during the Biden administration, Harris expressed sorrow for the victims but failed to provide clear answers regarding policy changes. Baier also questioned Harris on the economy, pointing out that more Americans seem to trust Donald Trump's economic policies than the Biden-Harris administrations. According to Harris, her administration's economic strategies, such as affordable housing initiatives and small business support, will improve the economy, but she struggled to convince the audience of her plan's effectiveness. This perceived disconnect between her policies and public trust highlights the broader issues she faces in terms of communication and public perception. Misinformation and polarization. In addition to the valid criticisms, Harris has been a frequent target of misinformation. According to CBS News, she has faced false claims about her citizenship and racial identity, which have circulated widely in certain political circles. These baseless attacks have contributed to her trust deficit, particularly among conservative voters. Conclusion. A leadership in crisis. Kamala Harris' vice presidency has been marked by significant challenges and criticism. Her inconsistent political record, perceived ineffectiveness, and communication struggles have led to declining approval ratings and skepticism about her leadership abilities. The recent interview with Bret Baier only underscored the growing concerns about Harris' handling of key issues like immigration, crime, and the economy. As Harris looks to the future, she will need to address these challenges head-on if she hopes to rebuild trust and secure a successful political career.